G'day folks, welcome to Dodgy's Garage. Another project we're going to have on today is that piece of crap, because I'm an idiot and keep on buying shit that I can't fix up or couldn't be bothered with. So anyway, what we've got is an AU Ute Series 2, just standard bullshit. I kind of got it running, but it seems that the fuel pump is dead. Only running, not by fuel in the fuel tank, but actually squirting down the carby, or the intake. And that's the only way it started. So it looks like a dead fuel pump. It's been years since this thing's actually been going and been gone through. So we have to replace the fuel pump. And to do the fuel pump, I need to take the tray off, which is going to be an absolute pain in the ass. And to get the tray off, I need to get the bolts out, which are underneath this liner. And to get the liner off, I've got to undo all this railing and the hoop bar. I've got to undo the screws off that and all those bolts, as well as there's a couple of screws in. Oh, there's one there. There's a couple of screws here. There might be some, I don't know. It's just, I just pulled out all the crap that was sitting in the back of it. But yeah, I've got to pull the liner out to get to the bolts that are underneath the liner to actually undo the bed, to take the bed off. Luckily, I've got forklifts available because I'm at work. But I have to get through to do all that first, and that is an absolute pain in the butt. So, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that's just how I do things. So, I'm hoping it's just the fuel tank, but in saying that, there's also a gas tank underneath there somewhere. It runs LPG. I'm getting rid of that because this is going to be a autocross car, maybe a drift car, but mainly autocross. So I've got to race it. I'm not racing with LPG. One, you just can't get it in WA. They've gotten rid of it all. So we're left without any LPG. Unless you want a Barbie from Bunnings, then it's fine. But otherwise, no, you can't fill up your cars. There's very limited places that you can fill up. Luckily, there is one place about a kilometre from here, 1.5 kilometres here. So I can still get my Effie filled up, but that's about it. But we're going to play with this thing, because I've had it sitting for so long, and I need to get rid of all these cars here are mine. Look, there's my Dodge. The V-dub's at the workshop. You can see I've got the Lexus. I've got to put bottom end rings in. That needs a complete new engine, which is at work, at home. And my van, which is nothing wrong with it. Oh, I could use a water pump and a service, but there's nothing wrong. And the Camry, which is all nice and clean and ready to go to the friend's place, but she hasn't got around to it yet. That's not mine. That's one of the work guys. Harmonic, no, what do you call it? Crank angle sensor, which is behind the harmonic balancer or some shit. You got to pull that off, and to pull that off, you got to pull all the front radiator and everything off. And he just went, nah. So it's just sitting here, and he had to move house. So he moved. Car sat here. Anyway, enough of me gawking and rambling on and jibber jabbering. Let's see how we go with this stupid thing, because I'm not really into it, but I got to do something. So let's get into it. All right. So it's been a couple of hours. I was running around and get a few things, including new tools, because I didn't have enough tools. It turns out the tools I got were metric, and this isn't metric. That sucks. But I managed to get the liner out. And that was a pain in the ass, because in here, these, are these? Or these? What were these? I don't know. Little hooks. They, yeah. They're metric, apparently. Anyway, there was nothing else holding the liner in, so that came out fairly easily. So I'm left with the tray, and guess what? Somebody's cut a hole where the pump is. So I don't have to lift the cab off, because someone's already gone to the trouble of cutting the hole for me. And obviously, see those 4 things? That's for the LPG. So I might have to get this out of the way and lift that up. I might be able to drop the LPG tank. Because yeah, it's in where the fuel flappy thing is. That's where that is. So we need to get rid of that as well. Looks like just a simple bolt, and then the hose that runs across to the what's the name. I'll have to get a forklift and lift this up because I really need to get it up in the air to do that. And that should just drop it down, and I can get rid of the fuel tank. So that's good. But that's excellent. Someone's actually cut a hole in here already. So obviously this has been done before, hence why that's down. So we'll take that out. Then we don't have to pull the tub off, which is good. That's pretty good. I don't have to stuff around with it. I'll probably put the liner back in and secure it with the, if I do that, it's these little hex keys for, I think it's for the bow rods for a tarp. So there's 3 sets or 2 sets? 2 sets. All right, so they sit in like here and just there. You can see on that side, just there, and then there. Yeah, these are either 4.5 or they're an imperial. They're definitely not metric, and I just went and bought a metric fucking hex set to undo those. Don't fit. But luckily, if you jam the 4mm in there and go at a 45-degree angle, these aren't that tight. You can actually loosen these off. And then once that one's out, you use the bracket and turn, and that comes loose. That comes, what a pain in the ass, but yeah. So that was $15 I didn't need to spend. Anyway. All right, let's get this fuel pump out. All right. 5 minutes later, undid everything, blah, blah, blah. Took the ring off because you can't get it over. It's just catching inside. So you've got to take that ring off to get the pump out. So that was easy enough. But have a look at this thing. It's fried. The wires, hang on a sec, where can I put us? The wires have melted. How the fuck that didn't blow up, I'll never know. The wires have actually melted. And if you look on the inside, I don't know if you can see, that's crusty as. That, where's my thing? That is crusty as, and look at the side of it, it's all burnt. Holy dooly, it's crusty, look. Look how crusty that is. Holy shit. How that didn't, I mean, look at, oh, look at the inside of there. Look at the inside of that. That is burnt. Oh man, how this didn't. Oh, it just broke. There was literally a fire in the friggin' fuel tank. Look at it. Holy shitballs. Holy dooly. Well, either I rewire that, or I'll just find someone who's got another pump. So we can just buy another pump, because that's rooted. Obviously this thing was empty, so it had no fuel in it. But obviously somewhere along there, because it had no fuel in it, someone's tried to, I don't know, they put too much load on it, and it's literally melted and burnt the inside of it. I mean, look at that. Holy dooly. Well, that's probably why it didn't run. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to go too much to lifting that tub off just to find out that's the problem. Bugger. All right, another day, another weekend. Took longer than I thought. Now, it's been another week or so. I think you remember this thing. Burnt out, frazzled, completely and utterly chewed and burnt and whatever. Apparently you can still buy them from the shops. So that's what I did, and what I didn't video was actually buying a new one, which came in this nice box, although it is Goss, so God knows how long that's going to last, because Goss is shit. But yeah, anyway, what I did is I put the new fuel pump in, because I can't really show you, can I? Or can I? Can I? Hey, let's have a go. Let's see if I can actually do this, shall we? Let's have a go. I think it's 13 degrees today. Oh no, some stupidly cold amount. Come on. What have you done? As you can see, not bolted in, but that's fine. And now, as you can see, look at that. Now, I haven't got that ring tight, because that is an absolute pain to get tight and to get it off, because that is just, it's shit. But brand new pumps on. There's the old ring, which is, I don't know if you can tell, that is flat. A little bit of a dung on that side, but she's flat. Luckily, the kit comes with a new one, so you put that on. But hence, trying to screw it down doesn't really work. And I've still got that flat tire to kind of figure out. But as you can see, it's moved forward. I still haven't put the new intake on, because I just wanted to see if I can get it running. Anyway, the old intake's still on. Threw a battery in there, primed it up. That tire's not the best either. The floor. It's a friggin' fish pond in there. But what I did manage to do, she runs. Literally exhausted. That's it, that's the end of the exhaust. I can hear a vacuum leak here somewhere. Oh man, soon that's off. I think that might actually be the gas, because it does switch over to gas. Let's start that again. Alright, but it does run, as you can see. Oh no, I'm just going to have to play with that. Hang on a sec. Alright, got it running again. I think I have to turn that back on the petrol and the gas, I don't know. It's a bit loud and a bit smoky. But it does run. May need to be run a little bit because of the smoke, the amount of smoke that's coming out of this thing. It's been sitting for a while. But hey, it runs. Oh, here we go. Alright, so as you can see, fucking, it's a little bit smoky, but she runs. All I needed was a new fuel pump. Luckily, fuel regular fuses and that all seem to work, so that was my next thing. But she runs, so the beast is up and running. although the exhaust is really shitty, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can find another exhaust. But she's running, so now it's a case of get that tyre pumped up, clean the crap out of the inside, reinstall empty, then reinstall the rear tub liner, and then she's good to go. So how about we do that off camera, and then we'll give it a bit of a run and see how we go, and then put the full air intake properly on, because I'm not sure about the gas. I'm not sure if it's still running on gas though. That's the thing. Unfortunately, because it is gas, we're going to try and make it just run straight fuel. So I'm just going to have to work on that, see if it is running LPG, because when that came off before, it did stop. So yeah, not sure if it's still LPG. I need it fueled, but it runs. So now to kind of clean it up and get it all back into one piece, you can give it a run again. See how that goes. All right, it's the next day. I got it running, took the tyre off, went and got it pumped up, and it's all back together, kind of back together again now. I mean, it's, yeah. I did drive it around. May have an oil leak, but not much. Turns out I can't use that new intake of mine because I don't know if you can see this. It's friggin' nutted. It's bent and kind of broken. So I don't know if I can use that. Someone give me because the rest of it's freaking bent. It's just that won't sit on the what's her name? Unless I Jimmy. Put down in the comments anyone that's Jimmy that to actually fit, because that seems to be a common problem on these things. Once they've taken it off, you can't get underneath the throttle body, underneath the arm, to actually put that on properly, and it always catches and jams up, and it's always like that. So that's a bit of a bummer. Two, the what's happened is, because this sat at my place for so long, someone's actually stolen the cat converter out of it, and where that muffler finishes just down there, as you can see just there, that's hacksaw. Someone's actually hacksawed the bloody cat off. So I've got a full exhaust, but someone's hacksawed the cat off. So if I've got the downpipe between the header and the first muffler, that's a separate piece. If I replace that, then I'll be right. The actual muffler's pretty crappy as well. Looks like it's burnt through. As long as I've got a full exhaust, that's not as loud. I'm now trying to pull the interior apart, because even though rubber floor mats are great, not so much when you have leaking, because once these start to shrink a bit, they let all the water in, and it just fills up water and becomes a pond like you saw in before. So I'm just going to take all the carpet out. I mean, it'd be nice to keep it, but if it fills up for water, there's no point. So I'm trying to get all the seats out and the console and all that shit, trying to pull all that out. So, but we'll finish that for another video. It does run. It goes all right. It's still single pegger. So, I mean, nothing I can really do. Nothing I can really do about that. And I fixed my bike up too. Did I show you my bike? I didn't show you my bike. I went on the auctions and bought myself a little bike. It's only a little 250 Suzuki Marauder. It's been dropped. It needed a new. When it dropped, this bent, which snapped this. So I replaced that. I've got a new one of these as well. And what else did I need? Oh, new handles. Both sides have been replaced. And I bought indicators, but the indicators must be for a different model, because these are bolted to the frame here, whereas the other ones seem to go around there. And it's just, so I just glued it back in, and hopefully they'll work. I actually glued the back one as well, because that was torn. This is the rubber was torn, and this is hanging down, not snapped off. So I've glued it back up. Oh, it's still not the best, is it? I might need actual glue instead of silicone. But yeah, that was what, $537 at the auction. No key, so there's another 300 bucks. Another $200 for all the bits and pieces to make it work, like 40, 50, 60 bucks for the controls and that piece and then that piece. And but yeah, she runs great. No smoke, no anything. It runs real good. So I'm hopefully get that through Regger, because it's got no Regger. Pass that through, needs a bit of a clean up. And that'll be my little scoot to go around to work and back. I'll look silly on it because I'm too big for the bike this small, but it is what it is. But that's not too bad. It's done, what is it, 47,000 Ks. But everything else is actually in good nick. I mean, the seats aren't ripped or anything else. The tank has got a dent in it, but it's just I don't care. It's not that rusty. A little bit on the idiot lights there. Everything else is in good nick. So, and it's got a LED conversion light, which is on all the time. Anyway, enough of that. So I'm going to call it quits for this video. This is well, it's running, so that's enough. I can now do stuff to it. So next video, maybe, if I could be bothered, is me ripping the interior out to make it. It's an autocross car, because it's a manual rear-wheel drive autocross. I used to have the Hyundai Excel years ago, and I figured this was cheap, so I had to get the keys cut for this too. There's another 300 bucks, because it didn't come with any. So not cheap, but while I can get it done, so, and as it now it's up and running. Strip the interior out, rip out those carpets, and get it ready for autocross. So that's, anyway, enough gibbering. I shall see you next time. Give us a like, whatever. Yeah, just some info on that intake if anyone's done something else, because it's going through mud and water, so I don't want it just an air filter sitting out, whatever, because I want to keep it under bonnet and try and keep it clean so it's not going to get wet and suck into moisture. Just continue to play around with this thing. So until next time, thanks for watching, and see you in the comments. All right, hooroo.